In this video, I want to give you a quick overview of FlutterFlow so that you can build something like this. This is a demo app called PopShare. It's a property listing app. Alright, we'll come back to this later on. I know there are a lot of buttons here, but this should not stress us out. These are actually organized into 4 or 5 main sections. We have our widgets palette first, which is our first main section. These are the things or the elements that you'll be using to build your application with. So you can select images and drag and drop them into the canvas. You can select a button, for example, if you want a button. You can select a text. And as you're dropping this into the canvas, this is our second main section. You can drag and move this widget around. And you might have noticed that whenever we select a widget, the right side is changing, which is our property panel. This is where we configure the widget, we change the settings. So for example, we can change the button width, the button color, the height, and so on. Now, we have added the widgets onto the canvas. We have moved them around, and maybe we have deleted some. Oh, and that reminds me, if you want to undo, you can just press Ctrl or Command Z. Once you have added the widgets, now you want to see all the widgets that you have added on your page. So you can go on the left side, the navigation menu, which is our 4th main section. And if you press on the widget 3, you can actually see that this is divided into 2 main sections. So first you have all the pages that you're building. And if you want to build another page or add another page, you can simply press here. And you can start from a blank. You can create with AI, which is pretty cool, or you can select one of the pre-built pages. Right, so the second section in the widget 3 is the widget 3, which makes sense. Thank you so much, FlutterFlow. In here, you can see all the widgets that you've been adding to the current page. So for example, here we have an app bar. Inside the app bar, we have a text. We have a column, we have an image, a button, and a text. Right, so we'll come back to this later. But this is where you're going to spend a lot of time. Now we've built our app and we are ready to preview it. There are 2 ways to preview your app. You have the preview here, which is faster, takes a few seconds to load, and you can see the application that you're building. And here you go, just looks like an app. The second way is using the test modes. And this usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes to open. That's why I've opened it before so that you don't need to reload again. And it's still loading. But you might ask me why? Why do we need the test modes if you already have the preview? And you are right. But there are maybe 3 or 2.5 use cases where you might require to use the test modes. Let me explain. So the first use case are network calls. If you want to see some data from a back-end database or API calls, you're going to need the test modes. Secondly is the logic, or what we call actions. This includes things like navigation between pages, showing pop-ups or alert dialogues, or sync forms. And third, animations, and this is the second and a half. So some animations, they work in the preview mode, or you can also view it in the builder. And some you're gonna need the test mode. Alright, once your test mode is on, your app will work just like a normal app. If you want to make any changes, you can just come back here and reload it by instant reload. Alright, let's try fixing this app. So let's give it some padding, maybe 12 pixels in the bottom as well, 12 pixels. And if we go back and reload, so this will take shorter time than what it did take initially. Beautiful. So we've got the basics, but let's make this page a little bit more attractive and functional. We do that by using pre-built pages instead of creating our own. So we're going to create a profile page. And this looks interesting. Let's use this one. I'm going to name it profile, create page. And that is created. Now, I see I have some issues here about authentication. So I'm just going to delete the logout button. And that should fix it. Now, we want to add some navigation between our pages to the notification, for example. And for us to do that, we have to configure it in the property panel. Remember, this is where we configure the settings and everything. And to go to the action flow, we have to click here. And this is our 5th main section. So we're going to open this up. And usually there are 3 tabs here. So we have on tap, double tap, and long press. Usually it's on default, tap. And what do we want to do? We want to navigate to, all right, let's create the page first. We want to navigate to the notification page. So we're going to add another page called notification settings. This looks interesting. I can use my team, notification. All right, that's created. We're going to go back to profile page and go to the action flow to connect one page to another or navigate from one page to another. So we're going to add action, navigate, and notification. All right, let's instant reload again and see the changes. But hang on a minute, this is not the page where we want to land. So we have to actually go to the settings and change our default entry page. So we're going to say profile. I'm going to come back here. I'm just going to end this section and start another one. Great. So we have created a profile page. We have created a notification page, and you have the ability to navigate to the settings page and go back. Fantastic. All right. So let's go ahead and create our home feed. So we're going to use a template, and we're just going to say list and scroll a little bit down and find something that resembles our prop share, and we're going to select this one. So we're going to name it home and create. Lastly, most apps gonna need a backend database so that you can be able to pull images from our database into our FlutterFlow app. So natively, FlutterFlow supports Firebase. It also supports Superbase, but you can connect any other database using your API calls. So it can be AWS or anything else really. All right, let me show you how to set up Firebase. Press on settings and then Firebase, and then create a project. So you can let FlutterFlow create a project for you. But if you already have an existing project, you can copy the project ID and paste it here, then press connect. So we're going to let FlutterFlow create the project for us. I'm going to press on create project. I'm going to name the project. I'm going to select location Europe because it's closer to me, and then sign in with Google. Select the Firebase account that I want the project to be created in, and FlutterFlow gonna take a moment to do its magic. Right. Once Firebase has created your project, you can see your project has been successfully created, and you can see the project ID. I'm gonna auto-generate some config files, which we don't really need to worry about because these are just files to allow FlutterFlow to communicate with your Firebase project. Now Firebase has been connected to FlutterFlow, a project has been created, connected, and you have successfully generated the config files. So we're gonna enable authentication because we want users to log in with their email. So I'm gonna press on that and quickly press on get started. I'm gonna enable email, enable that, and save. Great. For now, we're not going to enable storage really because it's not needed, but it's also important if you want to upload images and files and so on. Now we need to create a collection or a database collection. So I'm going to press on Firestore here, create collection. I'm going to name it images, create. I'm going to start from scratch for now. So I'm going to create a URL because we need images, and this is going to be data type of image path. Great. I already have some links, so I'm going to go ahead and upload those. I'm going to press on add document, URL, and I'm going to paste them here. I'm going to create about 3. Good. All right, so that is done. I'm just going to double check and they look perfect. So in order for us to pull data from our database, I'm going to go ahead on this column here and press on this little icon that looks like a database. Press add query and query collection. We have one collection, so images, and press confirm. Now I'm gonna go to the image itself. So I'm gonna go to path and image document URL. Now let's preview what we've been doing. All right, so you can see it's successfully pulling our images, but it looks weird, right? There's this yellow thing in the bottom here. It has a dark theme, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna go back to the app and colors. So I'm just gonna go ahead and disable dark mode for now. Let me refresh again. Great, this is what we want it to look like. But I've added 3 images. Why am I seeing only 2 and this yellow thing here? So I'm gonna go and fix that. I'm gonna go ahead to the page and I'm going to enable the scrolling here on this column. Great. Now let's instant reload again. So we were able to pull images from our database. We are able to scroll down and we've disabled the dark theme. We've actually covered a lot in this section, which is only a quick overview. In the next lesson, we'll be diving deep into FlutterFlow and creating this app from scratch. So for that and more, I'll catch you in the next one.